Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. Dennis Fuller leading us in, and of course Don King with our theme song on the show that been working on for a couple of years, probably longer than that, to try to do this. And I wanted it to fall on the day that Frank Barton is in the studio, because he is such a great gentleman and he loves this show. And he's one of our great sponsors, but at the same time...
Well, you're right on all three of those.
He's a good friend, too, and
Number 4.
that, yes. And Ron Wong, we brought him in when we have a fishing guest because he may ask a technical question.
Sometimes. Good morning, everybody.
You recognize.
I hope you've had a wonderful Thanksgiving.
You look good in that Outdoors with Larry Ray shirt, too, Ron. I forgot to tell you that. You don't have on any of your college shirts over there today, I see. So we won't talk about that. A lot of football going on this weekend, and this is also the 25th is a special day for...
Were you talking about the folks in Stuttgart?
I sure do.
The Wings Over the Prairie World Championship Duck Calling Contest going on in Stuttgart, Arkansas, just a few hours from now.
And you mentioned something else, too, about it.
Oh, about the women's championship?
Yes.
Yeah, there'll be maybe a new women. Maybe a new women championship. Maybe still Kelsey Mashburn.
It might be.
From last year.
Well, we got one of the guests on right now that I knows a little bit about duck hunting, and we have another one that's right close to where this other lady, Erin Brown, she is part of the Vanishing Paradise team that our good friend Bill Cooksey is with, and Erin is an avid duck hunter from Lafayette, Louisiana. And good morning, Erin.
Good morning.
Are you ready for this, Erin?
I am.
Okay, all right. Polly Dean, good friend of ours, Polly Dean, outdoor writer, communicator from down in Georgia. Good morning, Polly.
Good morning, Larry.
Okay, and then, of course, the third one has joined our team now, and she is Melinda Hayes. You folks out there know what a story Melinda has competitive-wise. Her family lives in Sheridan, Arkansas. Good morning, Melinda.
Good morning.
All right, here we go. Around the horn with you three gals. We'll start with Erin. What did you want to be growing up, Erin?
Believe it or not, I wanted to go into the medical field. So
Good.
I was looking to be a nurse, but once I got into college, that's not the path that I took. I actually ended up with a degree in environmental science and coastal science, and now I'm working here trying to save the Louisiana coast from all the issues that we're having down here.
And I know from my Homa lady over there that
it's depressing.
It is depressing, and Erin, I know that we're losing how much?
Is it still a football field a day?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a football field every 100 minutes. Wow.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
to put that into perspective, we've lost over 2,000 square miles in the last 80 years, which is roughly about the size of Delaware.
You know, I can relate, Erin, and I'm sure you can too. You know, I grew up in Homa, and
that's about as far south as you can get, just about.
Yeah, grew up in the chain of islands that were off the coast. You know, Last Island and all of that, and just had the most awesome childhood. I mean, saltwater fishing, you cannot beat it there. And 2 years ago, we were back down there, and to see the devastation and what is not there anymore, my dad and I just wanted to cry. It will blow your mind.
Well,
I mean, people I don't think even can grasp how severe it is.
And that's why Vanishing Paradise is so important, you and Bill doing that work. And
Absolutely.
Appreciate you doing that. We got to get so who most inspired your career?
I'd have to say my dad. My dad is also a wetland biologist, and growing up, having gone out in the field with him, and then also him taking me hunting and fishing, and just from being a child watching certain islands that I used to fish at disappear over the years.
Yeah,
I couldn't help but want to have that same passion.
And your dad's name?
Tom Brown.
Tom Brown. Okay, now why do you love what you're doing? That's the next question in our line I'm asking them. Why do you love what you're doing?
I love what I'm doing because basically what I did this morning, I went out 5 minutes from my house.
Mm-hmm.
We had a 3-man limit on ducks by 7:30 in the morning, and I want to continue to keep that culture and heritage a part of Louisiana for my children and my children's children.
Okay, Frank just shook his head now. So you do have ducks in Louisiana?
Oh, you
Absolutely.
better believe it.
Sportsman's paradise.
Hey, Erin, I'm sure you remember back in the day in Louisiana when we had the point system. My daddy was going to our lab, had gotten off in a tizzy somewhere chasing a duck that wouldn't die, and he left me there, and I was probably 12, and I saw the ugliest bird like puddling around in front of our blind, and so I shot it. And when my dad got back into the blind, I said, "What kind of bird is this?" And he said, "That's a female hooded merganser. You just finished your hunt, basically."
Oh, my God.
50-point bird. I was like, "You're kidding me. That's the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life."
Well, they all count, right, Erin? So,
Yep.
all right. So right now on this Thanksgiving weekend, tell us something that you are thankful for.
Well, since this is a ladies' show, I guess I can get mushy.
Yes.
I just got engaged 2 months ago, and I'm very thankful for having found someone that has just as much love for the outdoors as what I have. I feel like every weekend we're either duck hunting, deer hunting, or we're out in the boat, out in the marsh, or offshore fishing. So I'm very thankful for
Wow. And the lucky man's name?
Rod Wilhoff.
Pardon?
Rod Wilhoff.
All right. Going to be Mrs. Wilhoff, right?
Yes, sir.
Erin will. Okay. So when is the date on that? Y'all know yet?
February 2019. We had to get through duck hunting and deer hunting season all the way out in Alabama, too. So it's literally the day after deer season ends.
Oh, you just golly. Well, that's amazing. Now you're getting me chill bumps here. All right, Polly. Let's go to Polly right now. So, Polly, what did you want to be growing up?
Gosh, outdoor journalism wasn't even on the radar
Yeah.
to me, of course. But, I went to school to be a scientific illustrator, and that's probably how I ended up a graphic artist at Game and Fish magazine.
And you spent time there. But I know Polly is lives in Athens, Georgia, works freelance writing, photography. I know she does a lot for Fishing Tackle Retailer magazine, if I'm not mistaken, of course, and she is a longtime friend from the Southeastern Outdoor Press Association. So who most inspired Polly Dean in your career?
Well, I'm going to have to say being at Georgia Sportsman magazine and Game and Fish publications for 20 years,
Yeah.
my fellow graphic artist was a fly fisherman, and, just having a group of outdoorsmen, rabbit hunters, fishermen, duck hunters,
Yeah.
deer hunters, everything you can imagine. I just had, I had all the resources at my fingertips, and I took advantage and just fell in love with all of it.
So what do you love about what you're doing? What makes you do what you do?
Well, I mean, the best thing is that I get to do new things and learn and see new places all the time. And even with my research and my articles, even in my own backyard, even in Georgia, working on a hiking book, getting to discover all the state parks in Georgia, working on a kind of an outdoor section of a tourism book for a county only an hour from my house.
Oh,
And
man. Yeah.
So, I don't care, if I'm traveling, a few states away or if I'm literally in my own backyard. I just am just constantly discovering new things. And that's what's fun.
What is Polly Dean thankful for on this Thanksgiving weekend?
I'm thankful for the people that I meet in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
And that's guides, that's people, that are like on this call right now, that are getting to, live out their passion and make sure they're preserving, our waters in our land for future generations. And it's just the people.
Well, I know if anybody's a people person, it's Melinda Hayes, that's for sure. And Melinda's one of our favorite on this show, and I think probably asked Melinda before because I thought she was going to law school or something like that at one time, and going to be a lawyer, and all of a sudden things changed. So what did you want to be growing up? Was that you want to be a lawyer?
So I was really good at arguing. I mean, I found
good at
out
arguing. Okay.
Brother,
I've got a son like that.
I should be in law, but honestly, I had always dreamed of being a pro staff manager for an outdoor company in the outdoor industry. And I've found that because I'd always looked up to the people at Strike King Lure Company. They had sponsored my mom and dad from the time practically that I was born to the time, still, And so I'd always looked up to how they treated people and how much they loved their job. And so that was who I really wanted to be, and I wanted to fish professionally and follow the same dreams that my mom and dad both did. And then I realized how hard it was to get into that industry.
Yeah, it was.
And so that's when I decided to become a lawyer. And what's really funny is I worked so hard to get into law school, get a scholarship, and I got recruited to be a pro staff manager in the outdoor industry. How crazy is that?
That is crazy. I mean, you end up at Pradco, and so you go from being a lawyer to work at Pradco. So
I did.
But you're still good at arguing. I know that, so that helps you.
Exactly. I think so. Makes me even more well-rounded and have a backbone. So I think that's important to have. And I think that what's really incredible is that I didn't set my sights high enough. So now I'm not just a pro staff manager, but now I manage all of freshwater fishing marketing for Costa Sunglasses, and I couldn't be more blessed to have an even bigger role than I had set my sights on as a little girl.
Amazing. In 2015, that's when she went to work for Costa, and not only that, but we'll talk a little bit more with her. So who most inspired Melinda Hayes' career? Or Melinda Mize Hayes, we might say, because her mom and dad are pretty well known. So who most inspired you?
So I have a few people, because I would say my parents and Chris Houston, who's actually Jimmy Houston's wife, inspired me on the fishing side. And why I say that is I grew up looking at female anglers. I held them in a higher accord than I did men anglers, because I had traveled so much with my mom, and there were all these women who were moms, holding down a household and still out there living this dream and living in their passion of fishing. And Chris Houston is one of the most incredible women that you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
And my mom and my dad, one reason I look up to them so much is that they never forced me to go fishing or hunting. They taught me to love it instead.
Yeah.
And it's so inspiring to me, and it helps me raise my two little girls to love it and teach them different ways. Go broom fishing, go crappie fishing, keep their interest and not just force them to be so technical and be so perfect. Just let them learn to love the outdoors instead of making it something that was more work related.
Well, I think you can say that. I was going to ask you why you love what you're doing. You just answered both questions at one time, which has got to be a lawyer in there someplace, that, again, we're talking to Melinda Hayes. But so what are you thankful for on this Thanksgiving weekend, Melinda?
Well, I get to live in my passion every single day, and that is just like the other two ladies on the show. We believe in conservation. We believe in giving back and making things better for generations to come. And I also get to share what I do and love with my family and with other people who have that same passion as I do out in the community. And so you really can't ask for better than that. And the number one thing, though, is without a really supportive family, I would never have been able to live the dreams that I do. Well, or have grown, with the passion that I do. So I'm thankful for all of that.
Well, I think when your parents are Lucy Mize, who's a member of the Freshwater Fishing Hall of Fame, and your daddy, of course, is Jimmy Mize, competed on the Bassmaster Tour. So you gals, as we close out here, I know that Ron in the fishing side has seen Melinda, and Melinda is a competitor, right, Ron?
Oh, she absolutely is, and she does a wonderful job in what she does with Costa sunglasses, and
she got a nice boat now. I did see a picture of her boat.
She has a wonderful nitro boat that is awesome. Been in it.
What does it say on the side of it?
It has a big Costa logo on it. It's a beautiful boat.
It is beautiful. I've seen it. What a boat now. So, and I know, Polly Dean, I know you have been in streams all over the Southeast and waded and everything like that. In your career as a writer, and most people, and I'm going to say this now, okay? When I started out, and Henry Reynolds was the outdoor editor of Commercial Appeal for 640 years, and he was out there, and my industry was basically male. We didn't have any female writers that would come wrong. And I know, Polly, you've been doing this for a little while. I'm not going to age you now, Polly, but I know that you have been places that open doors for other female writers, and I know that's a thing that you really teach a lot about, particularly what it's fishing or whatever.
Exactly. I've been lucky. I mean, I've had, a handful of editors at Game and Fish magazines, 3 of them, immediately that gave me a chance to write for them. And I think just, it would be intimidating to anybody, I guess, who's not a writer. I'm not a journalist background, but just knowing that if you know your subject and you care about, what you turn in, reread it, try and get your facts right, that's a big part of it.
Well, yeah, I know that, and far as that, with when I haven't met Erin before, but Bill Cooksey is a big fan of yours, and I respect Bill. And when you were talking about what you do, golly, you and your dad before you are affecting lives, and not just human lives, but critter lives. And I know that's got to make you enjoy your job as we think about Thanksgiving, to see what's happened in front of you. You got to be inspired just to go out and talk about it, right?
Oh, I love it. That's what we do. We outreach to communities. We teach them, and like you said, we also work to conserve what we have here with the different species of animals, ducks, fish, everything. We have about 4 million ducks that winter and stop over in the Mississippi River Delta.
4 million.
Every year. So, and they say that there's actually less ducks here now than there were in the 70s, and that's from a DU study a few years ago. So we know we got to do something, and that's what we're working to do, and I love it.
Yeah, and I'd love to be a part of that. Me being from South Louisiana, that it hits home to me. So I personally would love for you to reach out to me after the show, and I'd love for Prime One Camo to be part of your initiative.
Absolutely. Thank you.
There you go, Erin. Okay, I mean, you just look Prime One Camo. You Google Stacy Walker, and I guarantee you, it's a wonderful opportunity. Gals, thank you for being on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Happy Thanksgiving to all of y'all, and I hope to see you down the road. And I think this show couldn't have been possible without some of you ladies really stepping forward. So taking time from your busy schedule, and we'll stay in touch because I got all of your numbers, okay?
Okay.
All
right.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Let's take a break. Come right back. We are rolling along, and we're going to close it out in strong fashion here, coming up with maybe the Huntress herself. I mean, I think that's what she calls herself. I don't know. Maybe we could not get the one and only Brenda Valentine. You know why? Brenda's hunting today, and she ain't talking to nobody in Booger Holler or wherever she lives up there. So we couldn't get her. We couldn't get our good friend Deborah Hinks, if people are asking about that, because Deborah is having she couldn't be on the show.
She couldn't be on the show. Hopefully we'll be able to get her on in September, because she has started back to do a little bit of competitive fishing now.
Well, if we get her on in September, that's next year.
December.
Okay,
How
December.
about December?
Yeah, you're getting me confused. I don't want to go through football season again. Okay, that's
no, me neither.
Okay, all right. Let's take a break. Be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
You can find out